Welcome back to Conversations about Bookbinding, brought to you by Bookforge.
Wow.
And today, we're really diving deep into an essential bookbinding tool. It's like flour to baking. We're talking about the Bonefolder.
Yeah.
And our content for this episode comes from Edward Patrick Krantz, the honey badger binder himself.
Oh, great source.
So we're in for a treat today.
Absolutely. What's really fascinating about the Bonefolder is how unassuming it is. It's this, small, often tucked away in your kit kind of tool.
Right.
But it plays, such a critical role at almost every stage of the bookbinding process.
Like a hidden superpower, isn't it?
Exactly. We're talking about, an ancient tool here.
Okay.
And it's got a history that's, as rich and layered as the books that it helps to create.
Wow.
And its story stretches back, further than you might think, to civilizations that you may not even associate with books as we know them today.
Like ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
I can just imagine papyrus scrolls and those scribes, smoothing out those delicate surfaces.
Oh, you're spot on. In ancient Egypt, bone folders were used to prepare those papyrus scrolls, ensuring a perfectly smooth surface for writing and illustrations. But what's interesting is that papyrus was actually rolled, not folded, because the material was so fragile.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Rolling would prevent them from cracking and breaking.
Yeah.
But if they weren't folding the papyrus, what were they using the Bonefolder for?
Great question. Even though papyrus scrolls were rolled, the Bonefolder was still really crucial. Imagine, a scribe back then. They'd use the Bonefolder to smooth out any wrinkles or imperfections in that papyrus.
Okay.
Just creating a nice even surface for that ink to flow on. Really all about preserving those stories, those records of history and daily life.
It's amazing to think that the Bonefolder played such an important role in preserving knowledge across millennia. It's like holding a piece of history in your hand.
Well.
But the story doesn't end there, does it? I know Bonefolders were also used in ancient China for those beautiful silk scrolls.
Yes, absolutely. Think delicate calligraphy on, shimmering silk. The Bonefolder was essential, often made of bamboo in this case.
Yeah.
It was essential for smoothing and shaping those scrolls, ensuring the ink flowed beautifully and the silk didn't crease.
It's amazing how this seemingly simple tool has touched so many different cultures.
Yeah.
And played a part in creating such a wide variety of books throughout history.
And let's not forget, European monasteries, those incredible illuminated manuscripts.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine the monks just meticulously folding vellum and parchment?
Right.
Ensuring clean lines and preventing damage, to those precious materials.
With their Bonefolder.
Yeah, with the Bonefolder. It's a testament to, how enduring the value and the adaptability of this tool is.
It's like the Bonefolder has been this silent partner in the evolution of the book.
Right.
Helping to shape the very way we record and share knowledge. But it's not just about those well-known traditions, is it?
No.
I've heard about Bonefolders being used in other bookbinding cultures around the world.
That's right. And it's fascinating. Let's journey, beyond Europe and Asia.
Okay.
Let's explore how the Bonefolder has woven its magic into other bookbinding cultures across the globe. Let's travel to Africa.
Okay.
See, the Bonefolder takes on new forms and functions there. Among the Maasai people, they use smooth animal horns.
Oh, wow.
As elegant folding tools,
Right.
know. And their natural curves, they just perfectly complement their nomadic lifestyle, reflecting a deep connection to the natural world.
So the Bonefolder is adapting to the culture and environment it's in.
Yes.
Becoming a reflection of the people who use it.
Exactly. And then in Ethiopia, you'll find intricately carved wooden spatulas. And these serve many purposes, from smoothing leather to creasing parchment.
Wow.
And they're often adorned with beautiful geometric patterns, showcasing a unique artistic sensibility.
So the Bonefolder isn't just a tool, it's also a form of artistic expression.
Yes.
A way for cultures to express their own unique style and traditions.
Absolutely. And that artistic spirit continues as we travel eastward to Japan.
Oh.
They have bone and bamboo spatulas, known as onobari. These are used with incredible precision to guide fragile washi paper into intricate fan-shaped books and meticulously bound to scrolls.
I've always been fascinated by those intricate Japanese bindings.
Me too.
It's incredible to think that the Bonefolder plays such a vital role in their creation.
Yeah.
And I imagine Chinese bookbinding has its own unique take on the Bonefolder as well.
Indeed. In China, the smooth surface of the bamboo benshi makes it ideal for working with delicate materials, reflecting a deep understanding of material and craft.
So whether it's Carved wood, polished horn, sleek bamboo, or classic bone. The bone folder has found its way into bookbinding traditions all over the world.
Right.
It really is a global citizen.
A testament to the universal language of books and the craft of binding.
Yeah, but let's shift our focus now to the bone folder itself. We've talked
Yeah.
about its history,
Yeah.
but what exactly makes it so special as a tool? I mean, it's just a smooth piece of bone, right?
Well, not quite. You see, the beauty of the bone folder lies in its deceptive simplicity and its remarkable versatility.
Hmm.
It's a, multi-talented tool,
Okay.
and bookbinders rely on it for an amazing variety of tasks.
What are some of these hidden talents? I'm curious.
Well, let's start with the most obvious one, folding.
Right.
But even within folding, there's a world of nuance. See the bone folder's gentle pressure and its smooth surface, they allow it to create really precise folds
Okay.
in a wide range of materials, from delicate papyrus and silk to modern papers and even sturdy book cloth.
So I'm starting to see how a simple tool like this can become a bookbinder's best friend. It's like an extension of their hand, helping them to shape and manipulate materials with incredible precision.
Exactly. And we've only just scratched the surface here. Beyond folding, the bone folder is also a master of scoring.
Scoring. I've heard that term before, but I'm not sure what it means when it comes to bookbinding.
Well, imagine you're working with a delicate material like, parchment or vellum.
Okay.
Scoring involves using the sharp edge of the bone folder.
Hmm.
You create a shallow groove along the fold line. You do this before you actually fold the material. It's like a pre-fold preparation that helps prevent cracking or tearing.
So it's all about finesse and control, making sure those delicate materials don't get damaged.
Precisely. Scoring is a technique that requires a delicate touch and an understanding of how, different materials respond to pressure.
I can see why bookbinders consider the bone folder to be such a trusted friend. It seems like it takes real skill and care to use it effectively.
Yeah.
So what other tricks does this multi-talented tool have up its sleeve?
Well, let's move on to burnishing, a technique that's especially important when working with leather.
Burnishing. Now that sounds intriguing. What exactly does that involve?
Well, think about those, beautiful, lustrous leather book covers that we all admire.
Right.
Burnishing is the process of using the bone folder to polish the leather. It's what creates that smooth, gleaming finish.
So you're basically rubbing the bone folder against the leather to create a shine.
Essentially, yes. But it's more than just rubbing. It's about applying the right amount of pressure.
Okay.
Using smooth, consistent strokes and understanding how the leather responds to the heat generated by the friction. A skilled bookbinder can use the bone folder to create a range of finishes, from a subtle sheen to a high gloss, depending on the type of leather and the desired effect.
It sounds like an art form in itself, a delicate dance between the tool, the material, and the maker's hand.
And that's just the beginning. The bone folder is also a master of smoothing, playing a crucial role in applying those intricate details that make a book truly special.
Smoothing. Tell me more. What exactly does that entail?
Think about all those, delicate elements that go into a beautifully bound book. Gold leaf, delicate inlays, even the application of adhesives.
Yeah.
The bone folder helps ensure that these elements are applied smoothly and seamlessly.
Oh, okay. So it's like a tiny, meticulous assistant, making sure every detail's perfect.
Exactly. Its smooth surface, it helps eliminate air bubbles in adhesives, gently smooth out wrinkles in gold leaf, and ensure that those inlays are perfectly flush with the surrounding material. It's all about precision and attention to detail.
This is fascinating. I'm starting to see why the bone folder is considered such a versatile and essential tool. It's not just about folding, it's about shaping, smoothing, and refining every aspect of the book.
And we haven't even mentioned its role as a supporting tool.
Supporting, you mean it can hold things up?
Think of it as an extra pair of hands, providing stability and control throughout the bookbinding process. You can use the bone folder to hold pages open for sewing, to flatten warped boards, or to apply gentle pressure during various stages of construction.
You know, I'm starting to realize that the bone folder is much more than meets the eye. It's a deceptively simple tool, but it's got a hidden strength and a surprising range of capabilities.
Truly. And what makes it even more special is that each bone folder is unique, often handcrafted by skilled artisans who imbue it with their own personal touch.
That's where it gets really interesting. I'm picturing those artisans carefully shaping and polishing each bone folder, transforming a raw material into a precision instrument. It's like they're breathing life into these tools. Tell me more about the people who create these bookbinding treasures.
Let's start with a true master of the craft, Nigel Blackwell, working out of his workshop nestled in the heart of England. He's known for his traditional approach, creating bone folders that have an organic, almost sculptural quality.
So he's not just making tools, he's creating works of art.
Absolutely. Blackwell's bone folders are often inspired by the natural world, with subtle curves and shapes that evoke the flow of water or the delicate veins of a leaf. Each piece is unique, reflecting his deep connection to the natural world.
It's amazing how he brings that sense of nature into his craft. It's like holding a piece of the forest in your hand. But are all bone folder artisans inspired by nature? Are there other styles out there?
Oh, you're in luck. There's a whole spectrum of styles when it comes to bone folder making.
Okay.
For example, let's hop over to Wales. We'll meet Christopher Shaw.
Okay.
Now, his style is quite different from Blackwell's, characterized by clean lines, geometric shapes, and, modern minimalist aesthetic.
It's like the contrast between a flowing, organic sculpture and a precise geometric design. Both beautiful in their own way, but reflecting completely different approaches to the craft.
Exactly. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Oh.
There's Michel Gaspard, working out of the south of France. He combines traditional bone with rare woods sourced from all over the world, adding a global flair to his creations.
That's amazing. It's like each bone folder is telling a story, not just through its use in bookbinding, but also through its own creation,
Yeah.
reflecting the artisan's journey and influences.
And if you're looking for bone folders that blend tradition and innovation, look no further than Andreas Krell. He's a German artisan who brings a precision engineering approach to his craft. He combines bone with modern materials like delrin or even titanium, creating tools known for their, perfect balance and ergonomic design.
Sounds like he's taken the traditional bone folder and elevated it to a whole new level of precision and performance.
It's amazing, isn't it? Each of these artisans brings their own unique vision and skill to the craft of bone folder making, creating a diverse and inspiring array of tools for bookbinders to choose from.
But with all this talk about bone folders, I have to ask, are there any alternatives? What if someone's, looking for a vegan option or simply wants to explore different material?
That's a great question. It seems like bone has been the traditional material of choice for centuries, but with the growing awareness of sustainability and ethical considerations,
Right.
I'm sure there must be other options out there.
I'm really curious to explore those options and see what the bookbinding world has to offer.
Well, you're in for a treat. There's a whole array of alternative materials out there, each with its own unique personality and benefits. Let's start with Teflon.
Teflon. I usually associate that with non-stick cookware.
Yeah.
What makes it suitable for bookbinding?
Well, it's all about that, smooth, almost frictionless surface.
Okay.
Teflon is, a dream to work with when you're dealing with delicate papers, marbled sheets, or intricate inlays. It glides effortlessly, without snagging or tearing those fragile fibers.
So it's like the bone folder's graceful cousin, gliding through a delicate waltz with those precious papers.
That's a great way to put it. But keep in mind, Teflon isn't ideal for burnishing leather.
Okay.
For that, you'd need a different tool. But if you work a lot with delicate materials, Teflon can be a fantastic addition to your toolkit.
Got it. So Teflon for finesse and delicate work. What about those times when you need a bit more muscle? A tool that can handle tougher materials.
That's where delrin comes in. It's a durable polymer.
Okay.
And it's known for its strength and stability. It can tackle those thick papers, heavy boards, and, more demanding tasks with ease.
So delrin is the strong, silent type, always ready to get the job done.
Exactly. And unlike Teflon, delrin can actually be used for light burnishing on leather, adding a subtle sheen without the risk of over-polishing. It's a real workhorse in the bindery.
Sounds like a great all-around option.
Yeah.
But what about those bookbinders who are drawn to a more industrial aesthetic?
Yeah.
Are there any metal options out there?
Absolutely. Metal folders, often made from stainless steel or brass, bring a touch of industrial chic to the bindery. They offer that, sleek, modern look. And their weight, it provides a reassuring heft for precise folds.
Yeah, I can see those metal folders gleaming under the workshop lights,
Right.
adding a touch of elegance to the process.
And they're not just about looks. Metal folders excel at burnishing leather thanks to their ability to conduct heat evenly. But you do need to handle them with care, especially when working with delicate papers.
Okay.
Metal can potentially cause scratches if you're not mindful of your pressure.
So it's a bit like wielding a powerful tool. Respect its strength and use it wisely. We've talked about Teflon, delrin, and metal. What about wood? It seems like such a natural fit for bookbinding, given its warm, earthy feel.
You're absolutely right. Wood is a wonderful option. And there's a huge variety of wood types to choose from, each with its own unique character. You can find exotic hardwoods like ebony and cocobolo,
Okay.
which offer exceptional durability and stunning visual appeal. Or you can go for lighter woods like maple or cherry, which provide a gentler touch.
It's like choosing the perfect wood to match the personality of the book you're creating.
I love that. And wood is surprisingly versatile. Most wood types can be used for burnishing leather, adding a warmth and character that you don't get with other materials. They also work well for folding cloth and some types of paper.
So, with so many choices, how does a bookbinder know which material is right for their project?
Right.
It can be overwhelming to navigate all these options.
It's all about understanding the dance between the folder and the material. Each material has its strengths and weaknesses. So it's about choosing the right partner for the job.
Okay.
For instance, if you're working with delicate papers, Teflon is your safest bet. It glides effortlessly without snagging or tearing. Delrin can be used for thicker papers, but you need a light touch to avoid marking the surface.
So a delicate touch is key when it comes to paper.
Exactly. Metal can offer good control, but you have to be mindful of potential scratches. And if you're using wood, lighter types like maple or cherry work well.
Okay.
But remember, every paper is different, so it's always good to test your folder on a scrap piece first.
It's like a little audition for the folder.
Yeah.
To make sure it's right for the leading role.
Now for cloth, things are a little less delicate. Teflon provides that smooth glide for precise folds. Delrin can handle both folding and light burnishing, and metal offers good control and burnishing potential. Most wood types also work well with cloth, depending on the level of burnishing you desire.
So cloth is a bit more forgiving than paper.
You could say that. But when it comes to leather, things get a bit more specialized. Teflon is not suitable for burnishing leather at all.
Okay.
Delrin can be used for gentle burnishing, creating a subtle sheen. But metal really shines when it comes to leather, allowing you to create a range of finishes from a soft glow to a high gloss.
It sounds like metal and leather were made for each other.
Yeah.
A perfect pairing in the bookbinding world.
And wood also has its place in the world of leather burnishing. Denser types like ebony will create a higher shine than lighter woods. Ultimately, the best folder material for leather is the one that gives you the desired finish and feels right in your hand.
So it's about finding the tool that speaks to your personal style and the demands of your project.
Exactly. Bookbinding is a creative craft, and there's room for personal expression in every aspect, including the tools you choose.
Right.
So don't be afraid to experiment. Find the folder material that resonates with your creative soul.
I love that. It's a reminder that bookbinding is a journey of exploration and discovery, a process of finding the tools and techniques that help you to bring your vision to life.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have, from the history and versatility of the Bonefolder to this diverse world of alternative materials.
Yeah, and we've only just scratched the surface. There's a whole universe of knowledge waiting to be explored. From, the nuances of Bonefolder care to the artistry of creating your own tools.
Ooh, I can't wait to dive deeper into that world. Let's continue our Bonefolder adventure and uncover those hidden treasures.
Welcome back to Conversations about Bookbinding. We were talking last time about the fascinating world of bone folders.
Those, deceptively simple tools that play such a vital role in bookbinding.
And we talked about their rich history and that global tapestry of bone folder traditions. It's amazing to see how this one tool has, transcended cultures and centuries, leaving its mark on bookbinding all over the world.
And we saw how versatile the Bonefolder is, from basic folding to scoring delicate materials, even burnishing leather to a beautiful sheen.
Right. It's truly a multi-talented tool.
We also can't forget those incredible artisans who handcraft these Bonefolders. Each one is, a unique work of art. Their skill and passion really shine through in every detail.
It really is that attention to detail and the craftsmanship that makes each one special. But, you raised a really good point before the break. What about those alternatives to traditional bone? That's a question, many bookbinders are asking these days.
Exactly. With that, growing awareness of ethical sourcing and sustainability, it's natural to wonder if there are other materials that can stand up to the task. I'm really curious to explore those options and see, what the bookbinding world has to offer.
Well, you're in for a treat. There's a whole array of alternative materials out there, each with its own unique personality and benefits. Let's start with Teflon.
Teflon, huh?
Yeah.
I usually associate that with non-stick cookware. What makes it suitable for bookbinding?
Well, it's all about that smooth, almost frictionless surface. Teflon is a dream to work with when you're dealing with delicate papers, marbled sheets, or those intricate inlays.
Okay.
It just glides effortlessly without, snagging or tearing those fragile fibers.
So it's like the Bonefolder's graceful cousin,
Hmm,
gliding through a delicate waltz with those precious papers.
that's a great way to put it. But keep in mind, Teflon isn't ideal for burnishing leather.
Okay.
You would need a different tool for that. But if you work a lot with delicate materials, Teflon can be a fantastic addition to your toolkit.
Got it. So Teflon for finesse and delicate work. What about those times when you need a bit more muscle, a tool that can handle tougher materials?
That's where Delrin comes in.
Right.
It's a durable polymer. And it's known for its strength and stability. It can tackle those, thick papers, heavy boards, and more demanding tasks with ease.
So Delrin is the strong, silent type, always ready to get the job done.
Exactly. And unlike Teflon, Delrin can actually be used for light burnishing on leather, adding a subtle sheen without the risk of over-polishing.
Wow.
It's a real workhorse in the bindery.
That sounds like a great all-around option. But what about those bookbinders who were drawn to a more industrial aesthetic? Are there any metal options out there?
Absolutely. Metal folders, often made from stainless steel or brass, bring a touch of, industrial chic to the bindery.
Okay.
They offer that sleek, modern look, and their weight provides a reassuring heft for precise folds.
Yeah, I can see those metal folders gleaming under the workshop lights, adding a touch of, elegance to the process.
And they're not just about looks. Metal folders excel at burnishing leather
Ooh.
because of their ability to conduct heat evenly. But you do need to handle them with care, especially when working with delicate papers. Metal can potentially cause scratches if you're not, mindful of your pressure.
So it's like wielding a powerful tool. Respect its strength and use it wisely. We've talked about Teflon, Delrin, and metal. What about wood?
Yeah.
It seems like such a natural fit for bookbinding, given its warm, earthy feel.
You're absolutely right. Wood is a wonderful option. And there's a huge variety of wood types to choose from, each with its own unique character.
Wow.
You can find exotic hardwoods like ebony and cocobolo.
Okay.
These offer exceptional durability and stunning visual appeal. Or you could go for lighter woods like maple or cherry, which provide a gentler touch.
It's like choosing the perfect wood to match the personality of the book you're creating.
I love that. And wood is surprisingly versatile. Most wood types can be used for burnishing leather, adding a warmth and character that you don't get with other materials. And they also work well for folding cloth and, some types of paper.
So with so many choices, how does a bookbinder know which material is right for their project? It can be a little overwhelming to navigate all these options.
It can be. It's all about understanding the dance between the folder and the material. Each material has its strengths and weaknesses, so it's about choosing the right partner for the job. For instance, if you're working with delicate papers, Teflon is, your safest bet. It just glides effortlessly without snagging or tearing. Now, Delrin can be used for thicker papers, but you need a light touch to avoid marking the surface.
So delicate touch is key when it comes to paper.
Exactly. Metal can offer good control, but you have to be mindful of potential scratches. And if you're using wood, lighter types like maple or cherry work well.
Okay.
But remember, every paper is different, so it's always good to test your folder on a scrap piece first.
Like a little audition for the folder.
Oh, yeah.
To make sure it's, right for the leading role. Right.
Now, for cloth, things are a little less delicate. Teflon provides that, smooth glide for precise folds. Delrin can handle both folding and light burnishing. And metal offers good control and, burnishing potential. Most wood types also work well with cloth, depending on, the level of burnishing you want.
So cloth is a bit more forgiving than paper.
You could say that, but when it comes to leather, things get, a bit more specialized. Teflon is not suitable for burnishing leather at all. Delrin can be used for gentle burnishing, creating, a subtle sheen, but metal really shines when it comes to leather. It allows you to create a range of finishes, from a soft glow to a high gloss.
It sounds like metal and leather were made for each other.
Right.
The perfect pairing in the bookbinding world.
And wood also has its place in the world of leather burnishing. Denser types like ebony will create, a higher shine than lighter woods. Ultimately, the best folder material for leather is the one that gives you the finish you want and, feels right in your hand.
So it's about finding the tool that speaks to your personal style and the demands of your project.
Exactly. Bookbinding is a creative craft. And there's room for personal expression in every aspect, including, the tools you choose.
Hmm.
So don't be afraid to experiment. Find the folder material that resonates with your creative soul.
I love that. It's a reminder that bookbinding is a journey of, exploration and discovery, a
Yeah.
process of finding the tools and techniques that help you to bring your vision to life. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the history and versatility of the Bonefolder to this diverse world of, alternative materials.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's a whole universe of knowledge waiting to be explored. From the nuances of bonefolder pair to, the artistry of creating your own tools.
Ooh, I can't wait to dive deeper into that world. Let's continue our Bonefolder adventure and uncover those hidden treasures. Welcome back to Conversations about Bookbinding. We've been on quite a journey with the Bonefolder, haven't we? From its ancient origins to, its modern-day versatility. It's a pretty remarkable tool.
It is amazing how, something so simple can hold so much history, artistry, and potential.
We've explored how it's used across different cultures, the different materials, it can be made from, even how to care for it so it lasts a lifetime.
Right. But there's one more layer to this story that I'm really excited to uncover.
Oh, okay.
The craft of bone folder making itself.
I'm picturing those, skilled artisans
Yeah.
transforming raw materials into these precision instruments. It's almost like alchemy, isn't it?
It is a bit magical, the way they take something as basic as bone and shape it into a tool that's, so essential for bookbinding.
So let's step into that world. What's the starting point for a traditional bone folder? What kind of bone do they use?
The most common type is, cow bone, specifically the leg bone. It's known for its strength and density, which, makes it perfect for bookbinding.
It's fascinating to think about those bones being repurposed,
Right.
given a new life as a tool that helps to create and preserve knowledge. It's kind of a beautiful cycle, isn't it?
It is. And it speaks to, the sustainable nature of bone folder making. It's a craft that utilizes readily available materials and transforms them into something that's, both beautiful and functional.
So we have our cow bone. What happens next? How does it go from being, a raw bone to a sleek, polished tool?
Well, the first step is to, clean the bone thoroughly, removing any residual tissue or marrow.
Wait, no.
This is often done by boiling or soaking the bone.
No, it's like giving the bone a spa treatment before its transformation.
Yeah, I like that. Once the bone is clean and dry, the artisan will start to shape it. They'll use a saw or, a bandsaw to cut the bone into rough shapes, marking out, the basic form of the bone folder.
So that's where the initial vision starts to take shape.
Exactly. And from there, it's all about, refining and shaping. The artisan will use a variety of tools, files, rasps, sandpaper to gradually shape the bone folder, smoothing out the curves and edges and, creating that perfect balance and weight.
Yeah, I can imagine it takes a lot of patience and skill to get those curves just right.
It does. And the artisan will often test the bone folder throughout the shaping process.
Yeah.
Feeling it in their hand, making sure it feels comfortable and balanced. It's a very, tactile and intuitive process.
It's like a dance between the maker and the material, a conversation between the hand and the bone.
And as the bone folder takes shape, the artisan will also start to think about, the finishing touches.
Okay.
This might involve sanding the bone to a, smooth, polished finish, or adding decorative elements like carving or inlays.
So that's where the artisan's personal style really shines through.
Absolutely. Each bone folder is, unique, reflecting the maker's vision and skill. And once the bone folder is shaped and polished, it's time for the final step. Oiling.
Ah, yes, the ritual of oiling. We talked about this, in a previous episode, but it's fascinating to see how it fits into the making process.
Yeah, oiling is essential for, nourishing the bone, preventing it from drying out or cracking. And, it also gives the bone folder that beautiful sheen. It enhances its, natural beauty.
It's like giving the bone folder a final blessing, before it goes out into the world, ready to embark on its bookbinding adventures.
Exactly. And the artisan will carefully choose the type of oil, often opting for natural oils like, mineral oil, beeswax, or walnut oil. They'll apply a thin layer, gently buffing it to a soft glow.
That sounds like a really, meditative process, final act of care and attention before the bone folder is released into the hands of a bookbinder.
And That's what makes a handcrafted bone folder so special. It's not just a tool, it's a work of art, imbued with the skill, the passion, and the artistry of the maker.
This has been such a fascinating, glimpse into the world of bone folder making. It's given me a whole new appreciation for these, humble yet essential tools.
And it's a reminder that, even in our modern world where so much is mass produced, there's still a place for traditional craftsmanship and the beauty of, handmade objects.
Yeah, it's like a quiet rebellion against the disposable culture, a celebration of skill, patience, and, the enduring power of craft.
And as we wrap up our, bone folder extravaganza, I want to leave our listeners with this thought. Take the time to appreciate the tools that you use. Whether it's a bone folder, a sewing needle, or a simple pair of scissors.
Right.
Each tool has a story to tell, a history behind it, and, the potential to create something beautiful.
What a beautiful sentiment. And it reminds us that bookbinding is, more than just a craft. It's a connection to the past,
Yeah.
a celebration of creativity, and a way of, bringing beauty into the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of bookbinding. We hope you've enjoyed our, deep dive into the world of the bone folder, and that you're feeling, inspired to pick up a tool and create something special.
Happy bookbinding.